all being here. It's 3:30, so we'll call the Redmond Regional Airport Board meeting to order for Tuesday, August the 12th. And I apologize to Walt. It's my fault that I didn't get him included on today the ribbon cutting. I think everybody else had that pretty clear tonight.
Yeah.
No, I showed up too, but it was my fault. So it was in my email. I just didn't.
You did. You open it.
Yeah.
So we did a ribbon cutting for you. And we have a video. So with that, I think what we'll do is resident and or guests signed up to speak. You've got Justin. Justin's got.
Yeah, that's right. Just a quick update on the tank. We still are operating under our temporary permit, which allows us to test it. Testing has gone great. Everything's functional. We are waiting on the Corporation Commission to sign off on that. Little hiccup there. One of those, everything worked fine until you upgrade, and now you're held to certain new improvements. So we are getting some quotes and getting some guys out to install some bollards, crash barriers, essentially around the perimeter of the tank. A little frustrating, those aren't cheap, but especially with our tank guy not informing us about this, we could have been working on that along the way, and now we're not sitting on this expensive asset waiting on it to go. But we've got some temporary barriers that could be installed by the end of the week. They're not the look we're going for, but it's going to get us functional until we can get the whole process of having some nice bollards installed around the perimeter of the tank, and things should be back to normal, at least on our end. Caden has a bit of a project going on right now, but
Well, that's good to have that update. Where did we finally finish up on that impoundment?
That's on him. So we yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. It's in his custody.
Sorry I brought that up. Okay. All right. Oh, well, thank you.
No problem.
We appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and move on to the item 3, was discussion with the consideration of possible improvements for the meeting held on July 8th. Now we're going to do 2 of these. The first one is because we had 2 meetings. The first one is the retreat meeting held on July 8th, and would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve the minutes of the retreat meeting held on July 8th, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Same thing for item number 4, and the discussion and consideration of possible action for the approval of the minutes for our board meeting, special board meeting, July 8th.
So
Move
moved.
approval of the Edmond Regional Airport, special board meeting held July 8th, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Aye.
Aye.
5, discussion and consideration of possible action to approve the monthly financials included in your package in front of you.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6 would be discussion and consideration action approval for the leasehold alteration of Hangar 2. Pursuant to the assignment lease date, April 8th of 22, between the city of Guthrie and Cloud9 Aviation.
Yes, sir. Yes, so Cloud9 has made a request to the city. They made it through the city. They made it to the city planning office, through the city planning office rather, and pursuant to their lease, we need to approve that leasehold alteration. To be quite honest with you, I actually thought that I had included depictions of what that was, but they did not make it into the PowerPoint, so I'll have you visualize it. On the second floor of Hangar 2, there's that area that has principal jet management in the back, and then they have the flight simulator in the center now, and then they have the bar area with the seating. They're looking at placing an office between the bar area and the principal jet management office, creating a hallway of sorts. I believe this request was pursuant to Airnos wanting to take more stake in the building. They're wanting to grow their business, and I believe they wanted that extra office space in hangar number 2. And so this wasn't a request that really raised any red flags with staff. The city planning department, I know, is still working through this request, and their final approval is contingent upon it moving forward. But we needed to make an approval for that through this board pursuant to their lease agreement.
Is that the same location where they had the Guthrie Chamber of Commerce meeting
Yes, sir.
not too long ago?
What are they gonna do with the flight simulators?
Flight simulator is gonna be in the, they're essentially building 2 offices there, one for the flight simulator, one for, just spare office so that they can meet privately with customers, things like that. So,
Would Airnos be a sublease to the lease held on Hangar 2
Yes.
through?
Cloud9.
Okay. And he's fully aware of what their intention is, what they want to do.
Yes.
I'd move approval of the leasehold alteration tank, 2% lease of April 8th, 2022 between City of Guthrie, Cloud 9 Aviation LLC.
Second.
Moved and seconded, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item 7. And this is also consideration possible action to authorize the airport director to procure supplies, materials, services for the Guthrie Edmond Airport. The exception, the exception that any individual contract purchase exceeding $10,000 shall be required prior to approval from the joint airport board. All procurement activities shall be conducted in accordance with City of Guthrie purchasing policy.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? How about, no, before I call the question, I'm sorry. What's your opinion of $10,000? Is that adequate?
That's adequate for my purposes. Yes.
Okay. And that would include any and all M&O purchases.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good question. I'd like to ask our finance manager what they think about that figure. Is that well, he thinks it's adequate, but I mean, dealing with different departments, utilities, streets, parks, library, is there a number that's kind of a standard?
It just depends on the size.
Got it.
So. No, I think as long as you think it's gonna cover what.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's better than what he's had, which is nothing.
Right. I was under the impression in the work group or in the
Workshop.
the workshop that we had, the 10 grand was a number that Ken felt was adequate and comfortable. So I thought that was an echo from that workshop meeting. Right.
Well, I would think just in the quickly going through our financials over the years, it seems your responsibility is considerably under 10,000 over time. I mean, you're buying all kinds of nuts and bolts and lock washers. So I'm just wanting to make sure that there's enough in there for you to be comfortable.
I do. I think I know at the workshop we kind of threw a lot of numbers around, and there's certainly things that are probably run of the mill things that cost over 10,000, but I think 10,000 is 99% of my daily purchases are definitely going to be under that amount.
So, and you don't anticipate anything like another lens for the beacon or
That would be
off the wall
something.
stuff.
That would probably be something appropriate to bring to you all if it was larger.
I'm just.
So it's something that I'm not replacing just every day. Something that's going to be maybe every 10 years type of replacement.
That's also under the authority of Eddie's purchasing power. If there was a number that's higher than that needed to be done immediately, it can be done under Guthrie's purchasing policy.
And there's nothing about this that says that he can't bring purchase decisions under that amount to us for decision. If he's not comfortable with a $9,000 purchase, there's nothing that precludes that.
Well, that's the piece I liked about that It's in accordance with purchasing policy in Augusta, so. Any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's see. Item 8 would be discussing consideration possible action for the cancel of our regular airport board meeting scheduled for next month, September the 9th, in lieu of the scheduled joint city council meeting regarding Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport on the 12th. Obviously, the intent of this is to just not be redundant. Let's just do it be done.
So there will be a special meeting that will replace for the business items, is that right, on the 12th?
Yes, sir. So we'll have a, excuse me, due to the joint city council meeting that Friday, I didn't want to call the airport board to have an, excuse me, to have a meeting that Tuesday, because I would like the airport board to be present for that city council meeting. And we will have that, the chamber ribbon cutting we canceled today will be held that day as well.
Right.
And so there'll just be a whole morning of events. Obviously, if there is something that comes up that requires the board's immediate attention, we can schedule a special meeting or keep the same meeting. But I did want the board's input on canceling that meeting. I know this, as much as this is a volunteer position, you might not want to be airported out all Monday, all morning on Friday, and then come on that earlier week on Tuesday.
I would meet with cancel the regular airport board meeting scheduled for September 19th, the scheduled joint city council meeting regarding the Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport meeting on September 12th, 2025, and add that if it is necessary for action items to be added, they be added in a special meeting for September 12th, 2025.
Do you have a time that you're looking at for that meeting on the 12th? Do you know the time yet?
We are looking at 9 a.m. and it's going to be from 9 to 11 at Meridian Technology Center.
Mhm.
And then as we get closer to 11, we're actually going to make it, both city councils will adjourn, and then they'll come out here at around 11:15 and we'll do the ribbon cutting out here.
Okay.
And then local pilots have volunteered to take the elected officials up on flights around the area too. So.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Got a second?
Okay, moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has been passed. When will the flights be?
The flights will be after the ribbon cutting.
And
So-
that will be
Kind of about it.
Yeah, the ribbon cutting, the Edmond Chamber told me it should take no more than 15 minutes to actually
Yeah.
cut the ribbon. And so we will have people arriving at 11. We'll have people here ready to get all of that together. And so we'll get that figured out. I will be sending up a follow-up schedule for all of you, and we'll send that out to city council, both city councils closer to the event.
good for us. We picked the roughest part of the day. Thank you. Yeah, I do like that schedule. I think that's just good. So I'll address that in a minute. Okay, so we have the airport director's report, which should be pretty interesting.
Yes, sir. The parallel taxway project, after years of planning and discussion, has officially begun. Construction officially began yesterday morning. All appropriate NOTAMs have been activated, and our staff is in regular contact with our RPR to stay on track of construction so we can provide users with updates and update NOTAMs as necessary. They're currently working along the closed portion of taxiway alpha between taxiway alpha 4 and alpha 3. I will have more construction updates, excuse me, as we move along. I also have 2 signs on order for the gates. The first sign will go up for both gates, and then the second sign indicating that the runway is closed will also go on the gates, just reminding users to check their NOTAMs, and then they can text FlyGOK to 405-829-8301, and that will subscribe them to our automatic text message system. I will send out text message updates there as well. Wanted to give them lots and lots of options to stay updated. And and I apologize for this. This became way more blurry as I put this on the screen earlier. One of the most common pieces of feedback I've received since I started was that there was a dip in the runway at Alpha 2 on the South 3-4 end. I don't know if you can tell, but in the red circle, there's a slight lighter coloration of panels that were replaced. We've determined that that is the area that's most likely the causation for the dip in the runway. While we have all of Context crews here on site, we wanted to have Toby's crew use LiDAR data to figure out exactly how many panels we probably need to look at replacing and at least get an estimate for us. I will bring back an estimate to this board to discuss it. The problem is that if it's 2 to 3 panels, we're looking at a $25,000 to $40,000 fix. If it's 6 or more panels, it's well over 100,000 to just start the discussion. And so obviously we're going to have to wait until Park Hill comes back and gives us more information there. If we are able to get this funded and move forward, this will most likely, well, not most likely, it will result in a longer closure period. Toby has estimated that even if it's 6 panels, he thinks we could add 4 to 5 days to the closure period. We would have to close the runway anyhow to go back and fix this at some point. And so there is an argument that it may be cheaper to do so if we can use Context crews while they're all on site to go over and fix this. Which has been a long-standing issue. I can't tell you how many pilots have come to my office and asked, hey, while everybody's out there, are they going to go ahead and fix this? We are working on it. It just is all comes down to the funding for that. And we don't know how big this issue really is until we get more information from Park Hill.
So there hasn't been an engineering report out on that as to why the concrete there has basically. Because it didn't used to be that way when we did the initial expansion.
They could tell where the runway was originally cresting on the west side, where the highest point originally was before they expanded the runway. And it definitely was that expansion project. Something went wrong there. They just don't know what it is quite yet. They're still working.
So you don't know yet if it's full depth repair,
right?
Or is it just take the panels out and reform that?
Correct. We don't know yet.
That's it. The key issue on our displaced runway length. Was that right?
I was under the impression that was due to tree obstructions. Was the reason that displaced threshold was put in. We had too many obstructions. That is the reason that caused that. There very well may be another reason, but I believe that's the reason we have.
We hassled that budget for those trees for quite a long time, and that comes back to mind as what the bottom line was on that displaced runway. Be interesting to know. Who would we find out about?
We've told
Tony would know. We could go back and look.
We've told the state when the OAC did their last or ODAA now did their last inspection, the results are always those trees that are along the Martin property. Mm-hmm. Now that we will be acquiring a portion of that property, we'll have the ability to remove a lot of that, and some of it we will remove whenever we clear the area for the fence. For the east side fence project as well later this fall. We're hoping we can clear more of that out and bring them out to reassess what our obstructions are on the south end of the railroad.
That's good. How can it be trees? Anytime you get a failure like that, pavement, it's almost always.
No, we're talking about displacement of the threshold, not the issue with the question was regarding the displacement of the threshold.
Oh, you had displacement, not a relocation. You had displacement.
Displaced threshold, yeah. It takes our runway from 5,200 to 5,000. And I'll get you a definitive answer for the next time we meet on why that's there. I feel like when I first came on board, that was the reason they gave for me. I'll get you that answer.
Okay. Thanks.
If you look at it, it doesn't on landing. It doesn't make a lot of sense at this point if you look at it compared to other displaced thresholds, for example, if you go to McKinney and look at, there's clearly obstructions at the north end of the runway. Or if you go to Aero Country, there's clearly like a building, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And I don't know if that could possibly be due to, I'm not sure when we acquired the runway protection zone property across Prairie Grove, but that very well, maybe prior to that acquisition, there might have been a better reason.
It is prior to that.
Okay. I did want to talk about, do a quick fuel flowage fee collections update. As far as our records show, we had the largest fuel flowage fee check on record in July in the amount of a little over $3,000. As of August 1, we have collected $12,553 in revenue. For comparison, this is a 79.3% increase from the previous FBO's collections in 2023. Compared to 2024, we have earned approximately $1,500 in fuel revenue compared to the same time last year. Cloud9's projections for the second year of operations was $19,000 in annual revenue. The FBO is on track to meet that projection. We collected nearly $21,000 last year, and that was just in their first year of operations. And so they exceeded their year 2 projections in their first year, which is fantastic. The taxiway construction and just the upcoming season, we're going to start getting into fall and winter. I do anticipate this dropping off a little bit, but they have done well. And you can see even in this chart, our Zoom here is covering it. The blue line is 2024 and the orange is 2025. If you look at January 2024, you see that our fuel flowage fee collections look a lot more than our 2025. That's due to the fact that we started taking a lot of it at delivery. And so they were a brand new FBO. They had just delivered all of their fuel on site for that month. If you go down here and you look at it compared to Jet A gallons sold, you'll see that we actually have, they've improved their performance compared to 2024. So just another one of those complicated field measurement deals I had to throw at you. Let's see. Did want to talk about the Edmond Chamber event. We've already discussed how that is going to be moved to September 12th. On that note, for September 12th, I did want to reiterate, we will start at 9 and then we'll go to at least noon on Friday. I will be providing information on Edmond's use of the airport. Director Arties with the State Department of Aeronautics will be discussing our airport's role in regional growth. And then Toby Baker with Park Hill will give a presentation on capital improvement projects. And then I mentioned we had some pilots that were going to volunteer. If any pilot is interested in volunteering for that, please contact me as soon as possible. And I wasn't going to end this without discussing the EAA AirVenture. Our airport was well represented. We had a Guthrie and Edmond board member along with the Guthrie city manager and myself. We also took a moment to connect with some IAC leadership with John Wise. Our airport is the only state in Oklahoma to have an IAC chapter. I know Vice Chairman Aguirre's really done a lot to promote that. It was interesting to go inside the IAC headquarters, and they had the big list of all the chapters across the nation. And it was really cool to see Oklahoma just had one, and it was for here. Also had to show this off while I was working the booth. A lady came up and put her water bottle in front of me, and I just happened to glance up, and it was our airport fly-in sticker. And so I was really, really proud of that. Just all the way up there in Wisconsin, and someone was walking around with one of our stickers. But it does speak to why it was important to go to this event. It was a good representation of our airport, networking with the state and commerce officials all week. I did take a part of 5 different meetings with big companies and businesses seeking to expand their operations and try to attract them to our airport. And then over a dozen, I ended up making a list, over a dozen tenants from our airport stopped by the Oklahoma booth. And so a lot of them expressed they were grateful that we had a presence there alongside Ada, Elk City, Ardmore, all these other communities. But if you think about all the cities that had attendance, there really weren't a lot. It's a pretty small handful. And I was glad to be a part of that and just kind of show off our airport with the state there. Last things I had for you, staff is beginning to put together materials for a fall 2025 internship for undergraduate students. that are seeking an aviation or airport management degree. We will be sending out application materials soon. If you know anyone that meets that criteria, please send them my way. I'm lucky to serve as the OSU AAA liaison for their student chapter. So I'll get the OSU students, and I'm counting on Walt to bring the slightly disqualified OU group to apply as well. So, and with that,
Disqualified or handicapped?
just less qualified.
Y'all be careful.
And that, with that, I conclude my report. Thanks.
Thank you. Boy, I'll tell you what, you can't be in general aviation without going on across. That's the deal. And I think we were well represented, and thanks to the state chamber, they've always helped us on those things in the past, and city of Edmond too. So thank you guys for attending. That's amazing. Good stuff. Okay, well, we come to item 11, which is call for, or actually 10, which is comments and recommendations. So, start with you, Walt. What do you think?
Overwhelmed. No comment.
What's that noise?
Silence.
Y'all look at me funny now when I go on. I'm still kind of musing over that. Did you say it was a displacement? It was not a relocation?
No, sir. It's a displacement.
Yeah.
So why? Yeah, fine.
Are you feeling okay, Walt? I'm honestly genuinely concerned.
Slightly, well, my operations in my head goes into why, and I can't get there right now. You're doing a good job. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Well, yes, sir. Brett, what would you think?
I wanted to say I enjoyed EAA. It was an enormously valuable experience. It was great to talk with the ODA director and the Department of Commerce. We have an opportunity through Vanderbilt University to maybe have additional school that's interested in looking at Guthrie as a potential location for a A&P school that Vanderbilt is looking at funding. So along with Delta Airlines, so I thought that was really interesting. I got to talk to them about that, which was really important, and I think Caden did a fantastic job of representing us at the booth and making sure that we're well seen, that people know that KGOK is here and we're open for business.
Thank you. Yeah. Tracy?
No comments other than I did hear Kate did a fabulous job. Boldly, when necessary, representing the city and the airport. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ryan Waltz, what do you think?
You know, I'm proud of you guys, all of you, for going to EAA this year. AirVenture was I got to go for the first time last year, and completely overwhelming. You guys did a wonderful job representing us. I just wandered around and looked at the pretty airplanes, but you guys actually did business, and so thank you for representing our state and our airport. Both of appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, okay, if that is the comment, then I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed?